Hello, hello, my friends. I hope you're fine. This is your teacher, Dany Loaiza, with new content for you guys. This is the new video class on the use of the comparative forms. We already checked comparatives and superlatives with the rules of the ER, the EST, but now we're going to check other comparative forms that I think are really, really necessary to increase our repertoire, to increase the possibilities linguistically talking when we are going to compare two or more things. Yes? So, in order to start, friends, with my class, I'm going to present to you my material. Yes? And this is evaluations and comparisons with the use of the first element that we're going to study, and it is enough. Yes? So, enough. What does enough mean to you guys? For example, let me ask you this question. What is enough for you? Enough is a synonym of sufficient. Sufficient is the adjective, right? Enough is the comparative element that we are studying. And we can use it after adjectives and before nouns. For example, you can say, my house is big enough. Yes? Or my house or my apartment is modern enough. So, big and modern, in this case, which are my two first examples, are adjectives. And if you see the use of enough, enough goes after the adjective. Now, if I want to say, for example, here, I want to mention the example with a noun. Yes? So we need to take into account a little rule that I guess is really important that you're going to see after in your more advanced courses. But it's good for you to start looking at a topic that is called nominalization. Yes, I'm going to give you the name here. Nominalization. Okay? So it's a good idea for you guys to start getting like examples of what nominalization is, which is, let's say, the action or no, the action, let's say, no, the phenomenon of making, for example, adjectives become nouns. So in that case, we have nominalization and we also have denominalization. So you can start checking, for example, these samples, let's say, in order for you to know what I mean. Yes? But well, continuing with the topic, we are talking about the use of enough. So remember that enough goes after the adjective. Now, if I want to use a noun with enough, we use the noun before, we use the enough before the noun. For example, one thing is to say, I am rich enough. Yes, that is an example. Yes, I am rich enough. What am I using in this case? An adjective or a noun? So I am emphasizing the word and it is an adjective. So remember that adjectives are used before. But I want to say the same thing by using nouns and using enough. So I want to say, I have enough money. So, what is the main word in this case? Money, because I'm talking about money. I mean, in this case, the fact that I have money, but also the fact that I have the money that is sufficient in order to live. So I can say I have enough money. And you know, the enough goes before, in this case, money. So it is different. Remember that the first example that I gave you was I am rich enough. And you know, rich was before the enough, but then we have enough before the noun in this case, which is money. Yes, so now I have enough money. So in that case, it means that when I'm using adjectives, for example, when I say I am rich enough, so when I'm using adjectives, the adjectives are usually used before enough. Yes, and what happens in the other case? When I'm using nouns and I say I I'm sorry guys, I have enough money. So that means that enough is usually used before the noun. So in that case, enough after the adjectives, remember, and before the nouns. Yes, that is the first thing for you to consider, guys. Remember that it is to say something is sufficient. Now, the second element, we have two, very used, yes, and usually used before the adjectives, and this has a negative connotation. Remember, yes, it has a negative connotation. If you're going to use two, it's because a situation is not comfortable for you. For example, this is too small, or this is too expensive. I don't have the budget. So, no, I'm sorry. I'm looking for another apartment or another house because I cannot pay for this one. Yes. So, in that case, I am talking about something negative. Remember that to is usually used before the adjectives. Yes. And my third element, the one that I call the sandwich. Yes, why? Because it has as, which is in this case the upper bound. Remember the structure of paragraphs. Remember that I gave you this class on paragraph structure, which is also uploaded in my YouTube channel. If you want to subscribe and give live, guys, you have the structure there. Remember that I explained to you that the upper bound was the topic sentence. So in this case, the upper bound is the first as. Yes, the second, or the second element in this case, which is the meat and the other ingredients, would be the adjective. And then we have the lower bound, which is the other as. So, a sandwich. Yes, so think about a sandwich when you're going to form this form, let's say. Yes. Now, this house is as big as, yes, my mother's house. So if I want to say that two things are the same, so I use the positive statement. But if I want to say that one is more than the other, so I can say, for example, it's not negative, remember, as expensive as expensive as, again, the sandwich, my previous house. So if you think about that figure, if you think about that, you're going to get the form correctly. Yes, and this is the way to compare two things, to say two things are the same or one is more than the other. Yes? So now, think about this. We're going to practice these exercises at home, in class as well. You're going to compare these two bedrooms, right? So think about comparatives for these two bedrooms for the next class, and think about comparatives for these two computers. Yes, so we're going to have like some exercises, some speaking exercises on these images in the laboratory and in our session. And also, we're going to practice with these activities. Yes, but I guess we can do it here in the virtual session, right? So, for example, think about this panorama. I'm going to put my camera here. So, Pete is, so in that case, what would you say? Analyze the picture. So age 45, age 45. So they are the same. So as old as. It is as old as Tom. So again, you have the sandwich. Yes. A mouse is not, of course, because a mouse is not as big as an elephant. So we have the option B. Yes, in that case, it's not as. Something is more than the other. Remember, we use, in that case, the negative form. Yes. Emma is not as tall as John, of course. In terms of being tall, John is taller than Emma. So, cat is not as dangerous as a tiger. Of course not. Yes. Well, I love cats. Yes, they are kind of dangerous too, but well, in other terms, I would say. Okay, now, my mother's pizzas are, so they are both great. Look at the context at the end of the sentence. So, as delicious as, right? Now, I can carry these suitcases. How many elements do we have in this comparative? Only one, because we're talking about the suitcases. They refer to the suitcases. So, as this form does not fit in this because we don't have two elements. We are only talking about one element, which in this case is the plural form of suitcase. And now we say they are too heavy. Yes, because I can carry them. So look at the context at the beginning of the sentence. Now look at the picture. So, yes, you can also use to, but in this case, it says to polite. So it's kind of, contradictory somehow. Yes. So in that case, remember the rule that I explained to you. When do we use adjectives? When we are using enough, where do we use them? Before the enough. Yes, not after. Or in this case, we would say not polite enough. You're not polite enough for this job, my friend. Yeah. So remember that in this case, I need to use the adjective before enough. Enough goes after the adjective. Yes. Now, kids, you can watch this horror movie. You are what? Something negative. Look at the context, guys. You have the context on the picture. So you say you are too young. You cannot watch this. And well, we have lots of exercises like this one. I will give you this practice, guys, in this with this video tutorial in order to make up sentences. So you can practice here with these exercises. And I also add this source, guys, which is very useful. We're going to use it in the class too in order to practice with these cards. Yeah, so this suit is size L. I wear a size M. So you need to form the comparative, right? Using the elements that you're given in the prompt. And well, guys, so far that will be like my class for today. I hope you like it. I hope it was useful for you guys and um, it was convenient enough. Convenient enough. Remember, yes. So adjective, noun, adjective, enough. Yes. And well, I hope to see you the next class, guys. We're going to practice this topic a bit more in the lab and in the session that we have together. And also remember to keep practicing these forms because we're gonna have a quiz very, very soon. This coming week, I would say. Yes. So my friends, bye bye, take care. I hope you like this class. This is your teacher, Dany Loaiza. Remember, subscribe, like, and if you like this content, please do not hesitate, my friends. You're going to share it and you're going to give a like and share it with other people and other students that might have questions about the topic of comparisons. Okay? Bye bye, my friends. Take care. Have a good day.